How to ollie up a curb. After you've been riding your board for a while, and you've got your ollies down on flat, the next thing you can do is begin to learn ollieing up a curb. Make sure before you begin this step, you're comfortable just doing an ollie while riding. So in order to do that, you have to be very comfortable riding and very comfortable with ollie, so you can put both of those two together. Basically what I suggest on this is just doing some ollies next to the curb. Get comfortable with that and make sure that you have your height down well enough. So just ride along the curb and just do some ollies. So for your first time ollieing up a curb, just spend a little time doing this. Just roll next to the curb, pop some ollies. If you can get your friend to film you from the side or take a picture of you when you're in the air, then you can see whether or not you're high enough. So then once you know you have your height down, the next thing that you can do is just do an ollie up the curb going at an angle. I don't recommend your first ollie going straight on, but do it from the side, just like that right there. So for this one, you can just approach the curb at a slight angle. Not too straight and not too parallel either, but just be angled towards the curb just enough. And then you can pop up and thrust your shoulders like going up over the curb. It's a little bit different than going straight on because you can actually like pop and then thrust yourself to the side in order to make it on top of the curb. Whenever you're popping over or up onto something, you always want to have your eyes on the obstacle. So as you're approaching it, just be watching the curb literally the whole time. And pay specific attention to the part of the curb that you're going to be ollieing up, because you want to be able to see where you're going. And you also have to be able to time your ollies correctly. So with your eyes on the edge of the curb, you can properly time your ollie and also just make sure you have enough speed to be able to pop up onto it. So here we go, coming from the side, just pop your tail, slide your foot up the board just like you normally would. There's literally no difference. Then you can see my legs extend up and on top of the curb. So from the side, it's a little bit different than going straight on. So you have a little bit of an advantage because you can also like pop to the side, like I said. Also, learning from the side like this has the added advantage that if you don't make it all the way up, it's not going to be quite as bad or as sudden as a stop and a fall as it would be if you were going straight on the curb. So there's a little bit of a difference popping up the first way I showed you with my toes facing the curb, which is like a front side ollie up, and with my heels facing the curb like this, which is more of a backside. So if I was going to do a grind either of those ways, that would be front side grind and backside grind. You may as well get comfortable popping up the curb, both front side and backside. But I recommend popping up front side just like that first, because it's the easier way, because you can watch the whole time and you're not quite as blind as you are when you're coming up backside. Mastering this step now is going to make it a lot easier for you when you start to learn grinds and slides on ledges. So yeah, get that part down. The other thing about ollieing up a curb is that once you learn to ollie up a curb and then you learn to ride off a curb, your possibilities are limitless. At that point, you can literally just roll around the city, go anywhere, popping up curbs, riding down curbs, dodging cracks. You can just cruise. And that's literally one of the best parts about skateboarding. Just cruising around on your board, going fast in the city and having fun. But until you learn how to properly ollie up a curb and ride off a curb, you're not going to be able to do that very well, because you're going to constantly have to be picking your board up. So once you're comfortable popping up the curb from the side, then you're going to master coming straight at it and just popping straight up and over it, just like that. This is a little more difficult than the first technique because there's more of your board that has to cover the ledge. So for this one, you're going to have to take a little bit more speed because you don't have the added benefit of being able to pop up and move your legs to the side. It's very important on this step that you keep your eyes on the edge of the obstacle as you approach it. You can't pop too late, and you can't pop too early. So you have to get your timing down of when to pop the board in order to hold your speed and take it up onto the curb properly. So as you're approaching the obstacle, make sure you're watching the edge, and then pop up, slide your foot up just in the regular ollie position, and be watching the curb the whole time. Make sure your back wheels clear the edge of it, and then just land and roll away. For any of you guys learning the basics of skateboarding, you have to check out Skateboarding Made Simple. It's about an hour long, and it's literally the most detailed how-to skateboard video ever made. It breaks down every single piece of skateboarding into its very smallest pieces, so you can really master and progress super fast in your skateboarding. So learn all the basic tricks up to kickflip, and then progress from there. Click the red annotation and get your copy today.